We've done many segments here on the show regarding home construction and renovations, but when we hear design and build, do we really know the meaning of the term? And what does it take to design and build? Here to teach us some basics is Vince with VC Design and Build.
Well, the design and build portion is probably one of the most important critical factors of our entire company. Because with design, a lot of folks think that design just starts with a house plan. You know, let me go look online and find a different house plan and go find a builder to give me a price. But the reality is that all house plans aren't created equal. And there's lots of different things that really go into impacting the price of a home. And so when we start design, we really start with budget. You know, what is it that you are looking to spend as a part of your project? And then we try to design a home that's actually going to accommodate both your needs and your budget. There's lots of different factors that'll come into play as we do that.
So as opposed to coming in with, say, some kind of a rendering or something like this, you're saying the best place to really start is the budget.
Yeah, that is actually a really critical place to start. But, you know, we can even use this as an example. This is a real client brought us a drawing and said, you know, hey, can you tell me how much it's going to cost to build this house? Now, I had never seen the lot, didn't know anything about where this home was going to be built or anything. A lot of folks will go out there and start right away trying to put pricing onto this. But that really does the client a disservice because it can set unrealistic expectations, either one way or the other. And so instead, what we do is we'll take this particular plan and say, let me go ahead and get this drawn for you. And so that drawing will turn into something like this, which is a set of architectural drawings that have all the right dimensions. You know, we know that the doors are wide enough. We can get casing around the windows, everything that needs to be put into place. We can then scan this and make sure that we have all the right square footages and everything calculated and review this with the client as well. So is this really going to accommodate your needs? Because one of the major things that we can do is, you know, let's walk this plan, you know, per se. So what happens when you come into the door? Is there a closet for you to put your coat? You know, is there a door that you're going to look through and see a restroom the second you walk in? You may or may not want that to be the case. Right. But we try to point out all these different things with the clients. And as we do that, we'll walk through what are the finished details, you know, that you would expect to see in each room. You know, how does this work? And in a lot of cases, you know, clients don't necessarily have a comprehension for how large something is or how much scale is. So we might bring them here to my home and we'll give them an idea of how big things are. And we literally just take a tape measure and say, you know, okay, your kitchen is 10 feet across, you know, and so we'll pull across, you know, where does 10 feet end? And in that space, can we put your stove? Can we put your cabinets? Is this really enough space to walk? You know, do different things to help them get a real good, realistic perception of what it is that they're building.
So it sounds like you're really educating. I mean, that's kind of what the sense that I'm getting is that you're kind of, yes, I've got this idea, this is what I would like in my home, but you're really educating them as to maybe, oh, why or why not that would work.
I think there's no question that that is a real key component to what we want to do. And I kind of started with everyone wants to know how much something costs. You know, well, one of the very important pieces is to not only understand the plan, but does your house plan work on the land that you want to build it on? Because if you're going to have a house with a basement, you probably don't want to have a flat lot. You know, and also all sloping lots aren't created equal as well, because we may build the house differently depending on exactly how that particular lot slopes.
And I think you this was an example, was this the sloping lot? This was an example of what you were saying?
Yeah, this is an example. This is actually this house that then we rendered it so our client can see what the home is going to look like once it's finished before they've ever built it. And we can change the color of the brick. We can put stone on those columns. We can do various different things. But in this particular lot, it actually slopes from this side to this side more than it does front to back. So it would make us build that foundation wall a little bit differently in the backside, where most lots in Lynchburg or in an area, you think about, well, it slopes from front to back. But this one doesn't. It slopes from side to side.
And the other point that you made when we were talking before this interview that I really was impressed with is efficiency. You also work from the standpoint of efficiency.
No question, because efficient design is probably the most critical thing to saving money and staying in budget. You know, let's actually build the space that you need. And if you think about it, if I add a foot in width to something, that foot of space goes all the way around the house, from the foundation, from the floor, from the concrete, from the flooring, the drywall.
You don't think about that.
No, you just think just add a foot. You know, but that added foot is the materials around the entire exterior of your house. And all feet aren't created equal, you know, as well. I mean, there can be components in your home, like in this bump out right here. For example, if I extend that out a foot, well, it's only going around this way. So that's not the same as extending, you know, this entire width of this house by a foot, you know, or the depth of the house by a foot, because that's doing this entire wrap. And so there are different places that we can add footage without adding as much money. And it's really important to help folks understand that.
So I would say the lesson here then is, yes, have those ideas and those things you'd like to have in your home, but really start with budget, come to you, and you take it from there.
No question, because I tell folks things really do cost what they cost right in there. And it's our job to design efficiently, help to bid those jobs out effectively to keep the cost as low as we can, but they're going to have certain costs associated with them, and the best thing we can do for you is to help you design the home that's going to accommodate your budget and your needs.
Vince is such a great help and just such a great, I mean, they just do a tremendous job. Check them out if you have any kind of projects in mind at VC Design and Build. They're right here in Lynchburg. So like we say, go local if you can. All right.